Greetings everyone. I've been very absent on the old YouTubes lately, and a lot has happened since my last big video. The pandemic, that's overstaying its welcome, is still around. I broke my Logitech sim racing wheel. I replaced it with a Thrustmaster steering wheel. I accidentally formatted my hard drive, losing my entire back catalog of last year's videos. We got engaged, that's a big one. I later recovered some of my lost racing footage of 2020, some of which you're seeing right now. I started painting my house, so I got an empty wall here in preparation for that. But none of that is what this video is about. This is a project that I started a few years ago, and I finally got it working properly. Castrol Raceway. It's the closest thing I can call a local track to me. It's a little over 2 hours drive away from me, but I wanted to be able to drive it in a racing sim, Assetto Corsa in particular. So, I had planned on making a video about this track mod. It was planned for a little bit later. However, over the last month or so, I've noticed two other videos pop up for Alberta Motorsport venues made for Assetto Corsa. One of which was the skid pad at Rocky Mountain Drift Club, and the other for Stratotech Park. But with those in the works, I feel like the next one in line is probably going to be Castrol Raceway, so I reckon since mine's already basically finished, I figure it's time that I get mine out there. A few spots in the track aren't perfect, and I'll mention those while I do a short little tour of the track, and after that I'll do a 5-lap race against AI. Okay, so here we are in the pit lane of Castrol Raceway road course. Now the pit lane's not typically where we start our sessions in real life, so before heading to the track I'm going to do a quick little tour of the of the paddock area. And you can see the lovely high polygon, super high detail car models populating the area. Clearly joking. So that is the entrance to the track, currently facing east. And then I did model the entrance to the drag strip there. And we also have over in the distance, you can see to the north of the road course and the drag strip, you can see the 3/8 mile dirt oval that's over there. Maybe after the race I'll do a couple fun laps over there. But first, back to the track. This is the pre-grid area on the right of my car here, where we would normally stage before heading on the track. Now, one challenge I had with getting the track ready, the AI. The first time I booted up, they had a major problem. They couldn't make it around that corner out of the pit lane. They kept crashing into the wall, and very few cars would actually make it to the track. They just get stuck there, and it was awful. In a later revision, they did U-turns in the pit lane and started entering the track in reverse. I don't know what caused it. I know the AI in Assetto Corsa is not particularly great, but after some tweaking I finally got them behaving relatively normally. Alright, so I'll follow these two cars out onto the track here. We got a vintage grid, that's what I would normally be in real life, as that Mini Cooper clips right through us. Alright, so this site here between turn 2 and 3, I was so excited the first time I saw it. It looked so much like the real thing. I was surprised, or looks more like the real thing than I expected anyways. Now one thing I'd like to improve is turn 3 on this banked corner. There's a couple dips and hills that shouldn't be there. They're not there in real life. They're pretty subtle, so it doesn't really affect it too much for the driving, but it's enough it bugs me a little bit. So I'll turn around turn 4 here. Coming up to turn 5 and turn 6, the racetrack build of the program I use to make it, it uses Google Maps satellite data, and for whatever reason, the turn 5 and turn 6 here is quite elevated. I had to flatten it out. There's still some signs of me doing that, like the bit of a grassy hill on the left there. But it feels pretty close to what it should feel like in real life. One detail I added, a little bit unnecessary, but something that's just been there for, I don't know, I noticed it almost every race week meant at Castrol Raceway. The curbing here, they originally had it up to where the striped curbing ends. They had an extension of just white concrete curbing after that because people kept running wide, but people still run wide here. So if anyone in Castrol Raceway is watching, I'm sure you're aware of this already, but people run wide here all the time, and there's constantly a rut that develops here over the course of the race weekend, so I made sure to add that in there because it's usually there in real life. Alright, over onto the west end of the track. This end of the track has a bit of a crown to it. It's more like what you'd find on a public road. It adds its own challenges to it, like coming around here, and the turn end point for this corner is kind of off camber because of it. It makes it kind of challenging sometimes. I have gotten sideways there because of it a couple times. You can actually see that happen in the video from 2019 of me and my dad racing against each other. Okay, we're going to do a quick hot lap here before getting into the actual race. Coming onto the main street, that chicane actually turned out much better than I expected. It feels quite a lot like it does in real life. Turn 1 here, it's quite fast. And there's a concrete wall right on the outside. It's always been kind of a daunting corner in real life, but in a sim, I actually have made pretty solid contact with it on more than one occasion. I have a little bit more of a respect for that corner in real life now after driving it in sim, because it comes that fast, that wall, and you really don't want to hit it. This corner, late apex. Took me a while to get it right in real life. And again, that wall there, it comes up real fast. In real life, I've never touched it myself. I'm sure lots of people have. But it comes up quick also. Putting more attention into my talking than I am into my driving here. I like the passing opportunities you get down to this corner. Fast entrance. Out wide. Braking as much a straight line as possible, but usually I'm still unwinding my steering wheel from the previous corner. Makes it quite exciting. And then through here. A little wide. I'll drive cleaner in the actual race, I promise. And the chicane in real life, it took me a long time to get a clear line through there. But I feel like after years of driving here, I finally figured out something somewhat reasonable. Alrighty, so I'll move on to the qualifying session. I'm not going to set a qualifying time myself. My plan is to do a race, 5 laps against the AI. Starting in last place, I'll gain as many positions as possible. In real life, I'd usually be starting close to the back end anyways. Me and my dad are typically back markers on the grid, but this car is pulling lap times close to 15 seconds faster than my real life Mustang. Okay, here we are for a 5-lap race against the AI at Castrol Raceway. Vintage grid, similar kind of cars, what I'd be racing against in real life. One thing I wish Assetto Corsa did, but it doesn't unfortunately, is rolling starts. Unfortunately, only standing starts in Assetto Corsa. To my knowledge, there are no standing starts at Castrol Raceway. Just the way it is, unfortunately, but let's see how we make out. There is a common problem with AI cars on custom tracks in Assetto Corsa. They have a tendency to just kind of lurch before they get going, and sometimes it becomes a bit of a problem on this track. They crash into the wall and makes for a bad getaway. I'll try not to take advantage of it and make up too many positions at the start, but let them sort themselves out, and then we'll get underway with the race. Alright, here we go. This is the cleanest it's been in a long time. Oh, a little bit of carnage on that concrete wall that I told you is kinda nasty. Almost on the bumper of that Ford Escort. Into turn 3, try and get the inside line on this guy. The AI can be quite aggressive on this track. Although I do have the aggression turned up a little ways in the settings. Ooh, a little slippery. Probably could have done something with the rear sway bar settings in this car, but I'm just running the baseline setup. Brake on the bit of an incline there. So far the AI is driving much cleaner than they usually do. This is quite surprising, and I'm really enjoying seeing it. It's just like it's more real than excuse me. Bit of phlegm in my throat there. Far more realistic than I ever expected it to be. Into the daunting turn one, a little harder than I normally would. Just barely missing that wall, but paid off a little bit. I got my nose on the inside of this boss here too, just a little bit. See if I can't get him on this corner. Not quite. Ooh. Pretty close there. This is far more aggressive than we'd be racing in the vintage grid in real life. Trade a little paint there. Yeah, this guy's quick. Alright, there we go. Finally got the upper hand on him. Now on to the Porsche. Oh, the Boss 2's back. Oh, bit of a nudge from him there. Through the chicane. I'm a little embarrassed that that happened. I was way too aggressive on my part. Don't do that, especially not in real life. I don't know if I'm gonna make the top 10 like I was hoping. This is a tough race. Maybe I got him this time. Alright, on the power. Let's close the gap on this next car before he catches back up to me. Too wide into that corner, not gonna get a chance to get by. I definitely have the pace on this next car, but they're just not leaving any room for me yet. I'm sure the opportunity will present itself, but still got 2 laps to go. We're gonna crack that top 10, I can feel it. We made it up to 12th. I think I can get this Mustang on the outside before turn 1. Another Boss 302. Got a little sideways into turn 2 there. Hopefully this Mustang's a little easier to pass than the last Boss 302. It was tough, man. Putting a little too much concentration into my talking and not enough into my driving. Getting a little sloppy. Here we go. On his bumper now. A couple corners more and I might be able to take him. Not like that, I won't. Come on. Try not to make any contact with them. See if I can get the better exit on the chicane than him. Nah, he's pulling away from me. faster than me. Well, not for these corners though. If I can get the nose in on him going into the banking on turn 3, I think I can take him. My dad hates it when I pass him there, but it always pays off. I've hit top 10. Let's see if I can't get into the single digits. That was an ugly exit on my part, but the Camaro was held up too. Oh, don't lose it, don't lose it. Definitely faster than this guy. Oh, we're getting held up by a back marker. The Alpha's holding us up. That was my chance. Maybe one more position. Not likely. Try not to get too greedy, but if the opportunity presents itself, I'm taking it. There we go. Made it into the top 10. 9th position. Not too bad. Alright, so there we have it. Castrol Raceway and Assetto Corsa. Still some bugs to work out. I have some buildings like the archway over the drag strip and the timing building for the road course. Gonna work on some 3D modeling, see if I can't get those assets made and add them into the track. I'll try and add a download link in the description below for this track so you can drive it yourself. And yeah, next video should be the endurance race from 2019. I've been working on it for a little while. It's mostly edited, but got some work to do on it still, and that one should be the next one up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.